Namaste friends, welcome to this lower body second level program. If you're new to muscle activation and the teachings of AYAMA and you're feeling a little weaker, or maybe you're dealing with some injuries, or maybe you're feeling like, oh, this is not the best day to jump into a little bit more of an advanced program, I would highly suggest that you check out our level 1 program for the lower body, or go and check out some of our other things and get stronger first. One of the kind of principles of AYAMA is that if we can never get strong from a weakened state. So this is a little bit more advanced, and it is a little bit of a longer program. We have a lot of other programs that are 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. This is going to be definitely more on the longer side, if you will. So where I'd like to start today is to just bring your hands to Namaste Mudra and just close your eyes, sitting really well. Take a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Inhaling, feel the full expansion of the breath. And exhale deeply. Feel the breath expanding in the chest, into the side ribs and lower belly. And then as you exhale, the breath leaves the lower belly, leaves the side ribs, and then also leaves the chest. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Very good. Bring the arms out to the sides. And from here, inhale, bring the arms and reach up to the sky. Lift up through the chest and heart. And then exhale, bring the arms down. And just do that about 4 more times, just to really kind of sink into the breath. Inhale, reach up. Expand the chest, extend the lower back as much as you can, and then exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhale, bring the arms and reach up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhale, bring the arms and reach up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhale, bring the arms and reach up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. So one more time. Inhale, bring the arms and reach up. Full breath in, chest, sides of the ribs, lower belly. Exhale, lower belly, sides of the ribs, and the chest. Very good. From here, come and lie down onto your backs. And we're going to do a little exercise that we did in the whole body program that you'll recall to activate the longissimus. So from here, cross your arms, bring the legs to the right, and then come on over. Now you're just going to go to your own range of motion. As you'll recall, we don't lift the chest up and then lower it back down. We slide the upper body over. Very good. And then from here, extend from the torso down in through the legs. And then the legs, with about 4% effort, are moving to the right. And then relax. Now if you want to, you can always come back and reset. Slide the legs to the right, come on over. And then again, extend through the legs. Bring the legs with about 4% effort to the right. And squeeze the torso with about 4% effort to the right. And either just stay there, or come back and reset. And do it again. You might be wondering, why are we focusing on longissimus when we're working in lower body? Here's the thing, so many of our trunk extensors, and specifically side benders, and come back, influence what's going on in the lower body. So we hear a lot of this thing about pelvic resets. It's kind of one of those catchphrases a lot of people talk about, gotta reset the pelvis. And what we forget, or what those people forget, is that muscles dictate the movement, the function of movement in the skeletal system. So if you want to reset the pelvis, what you need to do is get the muscles working. One of those key muscles is the longissimus. Also, we're going to look at multifidus and QL. Do it again. Slide over. Again, extend through the feet. This is just such a beautiful way to wake up some of the deeper muscles. And then come back. Okay, let's do it on the other side now. So take the legs over to the left. Come on over. And come back. And slide the legs over. Slide your upper chest over. Now keep extending through the feet. And then come back and reset. And slide the legs over. And then come back. And then slide the legs over. Slide your upper chest over. Again, keep extending through the feet. Push the legs over to the left. About 4% effort, squeeze the upper body towards the lower body. And come back. Reset and do it again. Very nice. Nice, and then come back and we'll do it one more time. Reset and slide the legs over. You can also just stay there. You don't have to come back out of it and reset. It is nice to do it. It's not always necessary. But when you're doing it, when you're resetting it, sometimes you'll come into a new range of motion. And so we need to get strong in that range of motion. So that's what resetting will do, is it will kind of neutrally or naturally push you, or bring you, not push you, but bring you into that new range of motion without really thinking about it. And then you can start getting stronger in that new range of motion. Bring the legs back. Bring the feet down. Very good. So let's do the next thing now. So bring the knees over the hips. Bring the hands, and the heel of the hand is going to go just above the patella there, and press into the heel of the hands. And stay there for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now from here, straighten the legs. And keep the legs about 30 degrees off the ground. If you want to bring your hands to your thighs just to feel the thighs engage, you can do that as well. Bend the knees. Take a breath. And bring the knees up. And push the knees towards the heel of the hands. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then straighten the legs and have the legs about 30 degrees off the ground. You can take a peek and then relax your head and slowly lower the legs. Bend the knees, take a breath in and exhale out. Bring the knees back to the heels of the hands, press in. And then straighten the legs. And again, you can rest the hands on the thighs just to feel the thighs really engage here. And then slowly lower down. Breathe in deeply and exhale deeply. Very good. So bend the knees again and bring the knees up over the hips. Bring the knees into the heel of the hands. Press in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and straighten the legs. Very nice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lower down. Take a breath in, bend the knees, and exhale out. And bring the knees over the hips and press the knees into the heel of the hands, holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lower or straighten the legs. And feel the thighs really engaging here. Straighten the legs as much as you can and then lower down. Very nice. So we're going to do that one more time. So bend the knees, take a breath, bring the knees over the hips, no more than over the hips. Bring the hands towards the knees and then press the knees into the hands. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then from here straighten the legs. Keep the legs about 30 degrees. And lower down. Beautiful. Just rest the hands on the belly. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the chest rising up. Feel the sides, the ribs filling, and the lower belly filling. And then exhale from the lower belly into the sides, the ribs, and then out from the chest. Okay, from here, bring the legs up to 90 degrees. And then slowly lower the right leg down. Bring it about somewhere around 2 to 4 inches, maybe even 5 off the ground. Extend the legs as much as you can. Okay, so in other words, extend the knees or straighten the legs, and then slowly raise that right leg up, and then slowly lower the left leg. Very good. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. And then lift the left leg up and lower the right leg slowly down. Again, about 2, 3, 4, 5 inches off the ground. Fill the heels of your feet with your breath. And then raise the leg back up and lower the left leg down. And lift the left leg back up and lower both legs down. Do it slowly and gently. And lower all the way down. Again, take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale deeply. Doing this kind of deep breathing brings us back into that rest and digest state. Biomechanically, that's that parasympathetic state, which is the opposite of being stressed out, which is the opposite of fight or flight, which is the state most of us live in. When we go into that rest and digest state, which is primarily accessed through the breath, we open up the opportunity for healing, for cellular rejuvenation. All right, so from here, we're going to do a TVA, a transverse abdominis activation. It's going to be taught a little bit differently than what I normally do. So you can bend that knee and bring the knee over to the left a bit. Now, do this in a way where the right glute stays down. So what you're essentially doing is just coming into full adduction. So you're taking your adductors out of this equation because we're going to access the transverse abdominis. And then from here, you're going to kind of just gently lift the pelvic bone up. And think about the pelvic bone lifting towards the ceiling. Now, as you're doing this, you're also not engaging the left glute or pressing down into the left leg. So you're not going to come up much. In fact, some of you will barely come up at all. That's completely fine. If you want to feel your TVA activate, just lower the foot for a second. Bring your hand into your right side of your abdominals. Bend that knee, bring it over, and lift up. And you'll feel it engage. And that's it. That's it. Be careful not to push down into the arms. Now, if you want to go a little bit more, bring your left hand to the inside of the knee and with 2% effort, push the knee in that direction, in a diagonal direction. Don't, like, I'm not going to push my knee towards you. I'm going to push my knee up towards that corner of the ceiling over there. Okay? So do that. Again, 2% effort. It's not a lot. The reason why I'm saying 2 is because I know you're going to translate that to 200. So, but seriously, it's very little effort. Let's do it again. Bring the knee over, or lift the knee up, bring it over, and then lift. Again, relax the left glute. Don't press down on the left leg. Don't press down in the arms. If you want, bring the hand there. You're just creating a little bit of resistance, not a lot. I think I said 2%. And then come on down, reset. And then let's do it again. And again, some of you might be thinking, why are we doing transverse abdominis if we're focused on lower leg? Again, TVA is at the top of the chain in muscle activation. If it's not working, nothing is working. So it's important to begin building the stress tolerance level of our transverse abdominis. Relax, reset. And to reset, to build up the stress tolerance level of the TVA. Let's do it again. And so that it doesn't shut down. And then we can start focusing on other things. So I recommend doing TVA. There's a few muscles that will do almost every program. TVA, of course, is definitely one of them. And what's happening, and relax, at the TVA is also going to transmit down and transmit up. And so, let's do it again. Remember to lift up. So you're lifting up towards the ceiling, this hip bone, up. And then I'm going to press in 2% effort. Look at the 90 degrees angles. And relax. And let's do it again. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. And come on over. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Let's do the other side now. So bend that knee and then bring the knee over. Again, you're just kind of taking out the adductors. So just let it kind of, I don't want to say fall, but you're falling or dropping and coming into your own range of motion. And again, the left glute is going to stay down. So all you're doing is just moving the adductors and then kind of lift up. You might notice it's a little bit weaker. Don't worry, it'll get stronger. Again, pressing in with about 2% effort. Remember that diagonal push, and then relax. And do it again. Let the knee come on over. Lift the hip upwards. Keep this side relaxed so we're not compensating. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come on down. And do it again. Bring that knee over. Lift the hip upwards. And this is just a very gentle way to start accessing the TVA. I would almost say it's a little bit more specific. When we're doing plank pose and then relax, sometimes it's not so specific. This kind of action gets a little bit more specifically into the TVA, and then lift it up. I just noticed I'm clenching my right glute, so I'm going to reset and then lift it. There we go. That was it. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and relax. And do it again. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to get into lower body a little bit more directly, not that we haven't already. So bend your right knee and keep that foot at about 90 degrees. Okay, now keep this knee at 90 degrees. So don't bend it too much, but also, well, bend it to your own tissue tension, but not more than 90 degrees. Okay, and then I want you to bring the foot out as much as you can. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. And do it again. And bring the leg out. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you're actually doing here is working on strengthening your internal rotators right now. Bring the leg up and turn the foot out. And 2, do you guys feel that? You probably feel that a little bit in your TVA. Not your TVA, your TFL. And then relax. And do it again. If it's too much, just kind of back off, because the last thing you want is a muscle to start cramping. Some of these internal rotators are probably weak on some of you guys. And so when muscles are weak and we start bringing them to their end range of motion, meaning contraction in this case, that they can start to cramp up. So less is more. Come back to that less is more philosophy. Do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's do the other side. Bend the knee, bring the hand to the knee, and then again, bring the foot out. Don't let the knee move. Okay, so sometimes to move the foot over, you might move the knee in or do something funny with it. So keep the knee as stable as possible. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. And do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come back. And do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come back. And again, we'll do it a couple more times. Knee to 90, bring that foot over to the left. Doing any kind of these movements is fantastic. You can play with this on your own sometimes, these kind of rotational things in the hips. One of the phrases that we hear a lot of, do it again, is this idea of opening up the hips. What does that really mean? Biomechanically, it doesn't make sense, because if you end up with open hips, it means you dislocate your hips. So it doesn't really make sense that we want to open our hips. What we really want to do is get the muscles stronger so they stabilize the hips. Do it one more time. So doing these kind of little isometric practices, although very subtle, very profound. And then relax. Now we're going to do external rotation, some of our external rotators, which gets into our piriformis, quadratus femoris, and a few other muscles. So again, bring that knee up about 90 degrees. And this time you're going to rotate as much as you can to the left. Now, sometimes here, the adductors will start to take over a little bit. That's not a bad thing. Just know that if that does start to happen, maybe back off a little bit. Bring the leg up to 90. And then again, rotate. What should the foot be doing here? I would say neither flexed nor pointed. Just let it relax. But the idea then is the heel is pressing this way and come back. And do it again. And twist or turn the leg, rotate the leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. Again, be mindful of the knee so that you're not doing anything funny with that leg. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. And again, bring the foot over and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. And do it again. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and relax down. Let's do the other side. So bend that knee, bring the foot over, holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. And do it again. Bring the knee up and bring the foot over. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back. Very nice. And bring the foot over. And then relax. And again, bring the knee up 90 degrees. Bring that ankle over to the right as far as you can. You guys feeling this in your hips? Isn't that nice? It's like, oh my God, there's muscles there. Those deep rotator muscles. Just by the way, one thing you should know, and then relax. And do it again. Bend the knee to 90, bring the foot over. Is that anytime you do pigeon, anytime you do these quote unquote hip openers, you are destroying, yes, I use the word destroy, you're destroying your hip rotators. And your hip rotators is what begins to stabilize those hips through different ranges of motion. They allow movement to happen. And because those hip rotators aren't working, other muscles have to start compensating. And or the stress of you not able to move through different ranges of motion because you've disabled your rotators starts to move into your joints and your knee joints, your ankle joints, your lower back joints, and bring the foot over. And that creates more stress and trauma. Very nice. All right, and then relax. Take a deep breath in. All right, friends, let's come on to all fours and continue with quadruped. One of the reasons why you might be thinking quadruped, why quadruped? Well, again, I have found that so many of these side bending muscles, aka multifidus, really begins to affect how the hips are functioning. If we want to get the lower body functioning, we need to get the main muscles that are stabilizing the spine to work properly. So let's get into quadruped and activate our multifidus. Now, definitely this pose really starts to strengthen the multifidus as well. Some of you probably noticed that if you've been doing this pose regularly. So lower that right hip, lift the leg up higher, lift the left arm, and lift both arm and leg, and twist, and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Lift that left leg up, lower the hip, and lift the leg up higher. Remember to use your hand to feel that the hips are level. just kind of do this for a second and then lift the leg up. You can feel that it's not really hitting the lower back. So that's why we really want to focus on keeping the sacrum level. And then bring the right arm forward, lift the arm and leg, and then come out of the left shoulder and then twist. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Lift the right leg, lower the hip, lift the leg up higher, lift the left arm. Lift arm and leg, come out of that right shoulder, and then twist to the left. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Lift the left leg, lower the hip, and lift the leg up higher, lift the right arm, arm and leg, and come out of that left shoulder, and twist to the right, and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come on down. Right leg lifts, lower the hip, lift the leg up higher, lift the left arm, arm and leg, and then come out of the shoulder and twist. And hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come on down. And lift the left leg, lower the hip, leg up higher, right arm, and arm and leg, and twist. And come on down. Lift the other leg. Lower the hip, lift the leg up higher, arm, and then arm and leg, come out of the shoulder and twist. And come on down. You guys notice that you're able to twist a little bit more each successive time because the muscles start going to a new range of motion. How do they do that? Not by stretching, by contracting. So you're improving the muscle's ability to contract and contract on demand. Lift the arm forward, lift both arm and leg, come out of the shoulder, and twist. And come on down. Lift the other leg, lower the hip, lift the leg up higher. One of the things that sometimes some people forget is to bring the navel into the spine. So sometimes they'll just kind of collapse like this. Pull the navel in and up. Bring that arm forward. Come out of the shoulder and twist. And come on down. Lift the left leg up. Lower the hip. Leg up higher. Other arm. Arm and leg, come out of the shoulder and twist. Remember the navel. Pull the navel in and up. And come on down. And right leg lifts. Lower the hip. Leg up higher. Lift the arm. Arm and leg. And twists. And come on down. And lift that left leg. Lower the hip. And leg up, arm up, and twist. Wow. I'm already sweating so much here. It is going to be a hot day today. Doesn't that feel amazing? You feel your whole spine coming alive. Let's come and stand up and continue in our lower body series. So let's do our chair pose. This really begins to work a lot of muscles in the hips, both of our hip flexors and hip extensors. So from here, what I'd like you to do is to inhale, bring the arms, reach up, sit back into chair. One of the other boons of this posture is to strengthen the lower back muscles. So let the butt stick out just a little bit. You don't want to like stick it out all the way, but just a little bit, and you can start to feel those back muscles, specifically the lower back muscles, engage. Exhale, come forward. Keep the knees bent here. Inhale, come and sit back into chair. Sit back a little bit more and bring the arm bones back, and then inhale, come and stand, and exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, bend the knees, sit back into chair. Again, really feel those lower back muscles engage. Lift up at the pubic bone. Take the sides of the belly in. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, bring the arms forward. Sit back into chair. Exhale, pause. Inhale, come and stand. And exhale, bring the arms down to the sides. Take a breath here. Inhale, bend the knees, sit back into chair. Very good. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, sit back again. Come through skier pose. Sometimes I call this skier pose. I mean, obviously your arms are here if you're skiing, but we're bringing them forward and then coming up with an extended spine. Feel the core activated. Take the sides of the belly in. Inhale, come and stand. And exhale, bring the arms down. Last one. Inhale, come into chair. Very good. Sit back a little bit more. Now this time, instead of coming forward, what we're going to do is some arm variations. So inhale here, exhale, bend the elbows, lift up through the heart really. See if you can squeeze the lower back muscles a little bit. Don't do it by sticking your butt out, but by lifting up through the chest. Be careful to kind of block it, because as you lift the chest, there's a tendency for the lumbar to curve even more so. So from here, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, straighten the legs and bring the arms down. Take another breath here. It's just so delicious. Feel all of that rush. There's so many things going on in the body that has just happened. It's delicious. Okay, I'm going to turn and face you so that you can see me better as I'm doing this pose. What we're going to do is we're going to do a chair twist. And I teach it very differently. I teach it, of course, the AYAMA way. So this is a great pose to do. And one of the things about this pose that we want to work on is squeezing the hips into midline. So the hips are going to kind of move a bit. The real work in this pose, more than the twist, is squeezing the hips in. So listen to the cues. I will cue it very well. And if you do it correctly, you're going to feel so much energy in the hips and activation. So first of all, come and sit back into chair. Find your chair pose. Anchor into the backs of the heels. So many of us come forward and put stress on the knees. Bend or come in more into the heels of the feet, the backs of the heels. Even kind of almost lift your feet up for a moment and then let them come back down. Bring the hands to Namaste Mudra. And you're going to inhale here, keep the heart lifted, and exhale, twist as much as you can to the left. Now, just kind of go for it, go for broke for a second. What happened to your right knee? It came forward. It wasn't stabilized because the hips are moving. It's not necessarily a bad thing, by the way. I don't want to make it bad or good, but for the purposes of what we're doing today, I want you to keep that right knee coming back. That'll inform the hip to keep the hips glued, okay? And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. And if you can, start to bring the elbow towards the knee. I don't want it on the knee or outside the knee. I just want it towards the knee. And inhale, come back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back. And then exhale, twist. And let's just stay there for a moment. Inhale deeply, pull that right knee back, squeeze the hips into midline. If you have a block, by the way, putting a block in between your thighs, up by the lesser truncator, right in the groins, is a great idea. Inhale deeply. And exhale, twist. One more breath. And exhale, twist. Inhale, come back. Hoo-ha. Exhale. Relax the hands down. Come back to stillness. Come back to feeling the breath. Let's do the other side. Unfortunately, you guys came in with two sides. It was not my fault. Bring the hands to Namaste Mudra. And then come squat, come into the chair. And then exhale and twist to the left. Again, pull that left knee back. Squeeze the hips into midline. Always useful to have a block. Inhale, come back. And exhale. Inhale. Once in a while you'll catch me peeking down at my knees to see what's going on, because sometimes you just don't know unless you look. Twist as much as you can. Pull that left knee back. Squeeze the hips into midline. Inhale, come back. And exhale. Lift the heart, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, come back, last one, and hold. And exhale. Very good. Breathing in deeply. And exhale deeply. Squeeze the hips into midline. Very good. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Pull that left knee back, squeeze the hips inwards. And then inhale, come and stand. Exhale, relax the arms down. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. We're going to do an interesting variation on what we just did in a moment, but for now, what I'd like you to do is to kind of bring your feet almost together. We're going to practice eagle pose, Garudasana. We're going to just do it a little bit differently, emphasizing more on what's going on in the hips. So bend your knees, and the first step here is to squeeze the legs together. So really feel the legs squeezing together, lift the chest. Now lift your right leg up and cross it over. I know that there's a lot of binds and you do something with the feet. All I want you to do is just squeeze the legs together, squat down as much as you can, and just keep squeezing. Very good. Bring your arms or hands to Namaste Mudra. Are you squeezing your legs? Woo! Lost my balance there for a second. Squeeze the legs. Very good. Squeeze them, squat a little bit more. We're going to hold for about 10 more seconds. Remember to turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Never take yourself too seriously. And then inhale, come on up. Now lift that right knee up. Lift it up, and then if you can, straighten the leg. Lift the leg up a little higher. Very good. Now you're engaging all your hip flexors as well. Just delicious. And then slowly lower down. And exhale. You know, before I practiced AYAMA, I could never do that leg lift. Yeah, I had very weak hip flexors, which is one of the big sources of a lot of my back issues. So as your hip flexors get stronger, begin to notice that and appreciate it, that they're able to contract and contract on demand. Yahoo! All right, so let's do the other side. Bring again the feet towards each other. Bend the knees, squeeze your thighs towards each other. Very good. And then bring your left leg up and cross it over the right. Very good. Now squeeze those two together. Squeeze them together. Now, if this is too difficult for whatever reason, no judgment, no shade, come back here and just work on again squeezing. This is great. This is absolutely great. And if you can, come here and then bring the hands to Namaskar Mudra. Inhale deeply. Focus. Whatever you're doing, just focus your mind. Where your eyes go, your mind follows. So be mindful. And where your mind goes, you follow. And then inhale, come on up. Lift up the knee, lift up the chest, straighten the leg. There you go. Lift it up a little higher if you can. Don't hurt yourself. And remember, if you're weak, you can't get strong from a weakened state. So it takes time. I've been doing this for a while. And then slowly come on down. And Namaste Mudra. Very nice. So what I'd like you to do now is you're going to come to the front of the mat. We're going to do a little bit of lunge drills. So from here, what I'd like you to do is to bring the left foot back. And now as you come into this is not like a lunge to quote unquote stretch the hips. So don't sink down. Actually, I want you to do the opposite. I want you to rise out of the hips, come forward a bit, and let's just do the first couple, just feeling the back. Make sure that the back is engaged and the shoulders are back. There's a bit of a back bend here. Bring the left foot up and bring the left foot back. Now, if this is unstable for you for whatever reason, put a chair here. Grab a chair or do this at the wall and use the wall to help stabilize. Okay? And lift the left foot, bring it back. Now, again, engage the back body. Sometimes you'll notice that one side will drop or the hip will drop or you'll just sink down. Again, rise out and then step the foot back. We'll do that a couple more times. Bring that left foot back. Lift the left foot and bring it back slowly. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Very good. And bring the left foot up and lift the left foot and bring it back. Very nice. And then bring the left foot up and then bring the foot down. And lift the left foot up and bring it back and then bring it up. Good. We've only done that a few times. That's a great drill if you want to do it something before going for a run, for example. That would be a great drill to do. Very engaging, starts to improve some functional movement. We're going to do the same on the other side. So lift the right knee up and bring the foot back. Come forward a bit. Feel your spine, feel your back, that it's even, that both sides are engaged, the spine is elongated, and step the foot up. And bring that right foot back. Notice how I'm doing this. I'm not just kind of like funking, is that a word? My right foot back. I'm mindfully and slowly bringing the foot up. Doing this slow improves the muscle strength eccentrically as well as concentrically. The moving slow part also begins to build the strength of the slow twitch muscle fibers, which is what gives us stability. So lift that knee up and then see if you can slowly bring the foot back. Very good. And then bring the foot up and down. And bring the foot up and bring it back. If you want to, you can bring the arms out to the sides like jet airplane wings, and then bring the foot up and down. And bring the foot up and bring the foot up back. Very nice. And then bring the foot back and then slowly down. And bring the foot up, and last one, and bring it back. Very good. And then bring the foot up and down. From here, what I'd like you to do now is to actually step the foot back a little bit more. Good. Lift up. Bring the arms out. Now keep that right hand on the hip for a second. We're going to do a little bit of a twist here. If you're going to bring the left hand down to the floor, so you may need to step your left foot back a little bit more. You're going to bring the right hand up, but what you're going to notice is that a lot of people stick their butts out. So one of the cues here is a couple, but one is to squeeze the hips into midline and keep rolling that hip bone down into the floor, and then twist. Squeeze the hips into midline, twist. Don't let that right hip come up or out, and twist. Very good. And twist. You might not twist very far. That means your rotational capacity in your upper chest is very minimal, and you've compensated by compromising the integrity of your hips. So let's squeeze the hips in and twist. And then bring the hand down. Bring that left foot forward. Step your right foot back just to make it a little bit easier to get into this way. And then bring that left hand to that hip bone. Now push it down and start to twist. Squeeze the hips into midline. Twist a little bit more. Squeeze the hips into midline. Twist a little bit more. Nice. Squeeze the hips into midline. And then inhale, come on up. And then step your right foot up to the left foot. And arms down. Take a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. All right, my friends, we're going to come down onto our stomachs now. So let's come and lie down. Okay, so now that we're on our stomachs here, keep your hands beside you. One of the most important, of course, muscles in the hips and the lower body is the glutes. So let's get those glutes working. Bend that right knee and lift that right knee up off the ground. Now, one of the most important things, as you know already, is to keep that right pelvic bone down. So you don't want to kind of lift. It changes the pose completely. So lift up as much as you can. Remember the first one, you're probably not going to be as strong, and then slowly down. And then lift, bend the knee and lift it up. And then slowly down. And then bend the knee. And you can see that I'm keeping my hand here. It's just because I'm just checking in to make sure that it's engaging and to keep the sacrum level. And then I'll bring my hand back here. And then slowly down. Bend the knee and lift the leg up. And then slowly down. Bend the knee, engage, and lift up. One of the questions that's kind of come up recently is if you don't have somebody who can't lay on their stomach, what is an alternative? The alternative is to come onto all fours, which we did in the whole body program. So if you have somebody that can't do this on their stomach, then have them come into all fours. Do it one more time. Engage the glute. Keep that right pelvic bone down and lift the leg up. Do this every day if you've got any pain anywhere in your body. If you've got pain, make sure your glutes are working. All right, so let's bend the left knee. Ooh, I got really high and active in that right leg. Now on my left leg, I got nothing. Lower the leg down and bend the knee, lift the leg up and push it up. There it is, starting to come on now, and then come on down and bend the knee, engage the glute, lift up. And then come on down, bend the knee, engage the glute, and lift up. And then come on down. A couple more. Bend the knee, engage the glute, and lift it up. Be careful not to press down into the right leg. Are you pressing the leg down, the right leg down, to lift the left knee up higher? So be careful not to do that. You want to isolate that glute as best as possible. Bend the knee, lift up. And then come on down. One more time, bend the knee and lift up. And then come on down. Very good. So from here, what I'd like you to do is to come on to your side. And I have to just move my headset just a little bit here so I don't squish it. And then you're going to come onto your side. And this is a great little technique for both the piriformis and the glute max, or glute med, sorry. So this is kind of a twofer. So have your knees here. If you have a TheraBand at home, sometimes that's also nice to wrap a TheraBand around your knees. You might have seen this before. Sometimes they call this clamshells. You're going to slowly lift that leg up. Now, what's important here as you're doing this is keep this leg down. This leg sometimes wants to come up. And lift that knee up as high as you can. Okay? And you're going to feel this, of course, in the glute med, probably even glute max to some degree. But it's really also working the piriformis. And what you can do here is to create about 3% resistance. So I'm going to press into my outer leg, and my outer leg is pressing into my hand, and then come on down. And then do it again, and slowly come on up. So your ability to widen your knees really is, this is a good example of how much muscles control range of motion. And you know, one of the worst poses, oh my God, besides child's pose, pigeon pose, is this pose. Sometimes it's called frog pose, Bakasana, or a variation of. And there's a few different Bakasanas, frog pose. And then bring the knee up. But it's the one where you lay on the floor and your knees are wide apart. And there's a lot of pseudoscience out there where teachers are like, oh, you got to release your emotions in your hips and just got to stay there and breathe through it. And no, you're absolutely destroying any integrity of stability in your hips. Why would you want to do something like that? It's just stupid. It's dumb. Don't do it. If you want to stay strong, stop pushing your muscles into ranges of motion where there's no accountability afterwards. Sure, it's going to feel good in the moment. You might cry a little bit because of the pain you're experiencing. But you're going to leave more unstable, and it's going to mess up your back. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to harm yourself? You know, we talk about so much people who harm themselves and how much they need help. You're harming yourself when you go to yoga class and you do that pose. So stop it. Unless you want to harm yourself. That's your choice. Bring the knee up as much as you can. Press the hand into the thigh. And then come on down. Very good. Let's do the other side now. So move over. You can just roll over actually, unless you want to watch me. I'm going to move over to this side so you can see me. I call this pillow talk pose. Let's talk about you. So bring again the hand here and slowly lift that leg up. You might notice that it's not as fluidized as the other side was. The other side started working better. And so this, for all intents and purposes right now, we're doing hip rotation. So the hips are kind of rotating. We're getting into some of those rotator muscles. We're also abducting the hips. I always have to think about that. My poor dyslexic brain. And So we're also coming into abduction, so we're getting into glute medius. Come on down, and then come on up. We're almost done, by the way. Just a couple of more things to do that are really important for the integrity of our hips. And then come on down. And then come on up. Come up as much as you can here. And again, create a little bit of resistance. Again, 3%, not a lot. But you'll start to stimulate those intrafusal muscle fibers, which then start to stimulate gamma motor neuron co-activation. And then come on up. Say that many times fast, right? So come on up a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And then come on down. And then come on up one more time. Let's just do it one more time. Very good. Again, a little bit of pressure with that hand, 3%. And then come on down. Awesome. So from here, what I'd like you to do is come on your back, and we're going to do our psoas major. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that you have a stronger psoas major, so we're going to just go right into what I always do is a muscle activation. A lot of people can't do this, and so if this is challenging for you, remember that doing this is the psoas muscle activation. Many of you should know this by now if you've done any work with me. The other one is to bring the legs forward, just in neutral. Externally rotate your right leg. Bring the right leg over to the right a bit, and then lift that leg up. Now you lift it to about 45 degrees. Okay? It's actually a little bit more than 45, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. Now, how you can tell if you're strong or not is if the left hip is lifting up. Slowly come on down, bring the leg back. So if you're lifting the left hip and you're really struggling here, go to do this one, okay? And just do this one 6 seconds, 6 times. Externally rotate the right leg, bring it out, lift up. Nice. And hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come on down, reset. Externally rotate the leg, bring it out, lift up, and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. Externally rotate the leg, bring the leg out, lift it up, and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and bring the leg back down. Externally rotate the leg, bring it out, lift it up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. And externally rotate the leg, bring it out, lift the leg up. And this is the last one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. You might have noticed that sometimes your adductors start to kick in. Again, if that really starts to happen, come back and do the other muscle activation option for psoas major. Okay, psoas major and glutes, both agonist and antagonist muscles, they also are synergistic, and they also play such an important role in hip flexion and hip extension. When one is contracting, the other one is releasing. That's number one. And then number two, they maintain the stability of the hip structure. And they're at the top of the chain of all the muscles below them. So important to make sure that they're working properly. Lift your left leg up. And then come on down and come back to neutral. If you're not sure where neutral is, do a little bridge, straighten the legs, relax. And externally rotate that left leg, bring it out about 30 degrees, and then lift the leg up about 30 to 45 degrees. Again, make sure that that right leg isn't lifting to compensate, and come on down. Externally rotate the left leg, bring it to the left, lift it up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. And then externally rotate that left leg, bring it to the left, lift it up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Externally rotate the left leg, bring it to the left, lift the leg up. Very good. You can see that I've got my hand right where my left psoas is because I love feeling it popping out. It's fantastic. Straighten the leg. Now externally rotate that left leg, bring it to the left, and lift the leg up. And hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Externally rotate the leg, bring it to the left, and lift the leg up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. We'll do it one more time. Externally rotate the left leg, bring it to the left, and then lift the leg up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Bend the knees. Bring the arms out to the sides or over your head. Any way that's comfortable. I just want your arms out of this. Bring the feet about hip distance and then a little bit wider so they're just on the outsides of the hips. And then lift the hips up. So this is going to be the last thing that we do. We're going to end this practice with making sure that our glutes are fired up properly. Squeeze them, press down into the hips. Press down into the heels, not the hips, and then slowly lower the hips down. Squeeze the hips, lift up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and slowly come on down. Sometimes a nice little jiggle here is nice, just to get your hips relaxed, your glutes relaxed, so that we come into this from a relaxed state. Okay, and then lift up and engage. Very good. Press down into the heels of your feet. Good. Lift up a little bit more. And then come on down. Nice. And then come on up again. Press up as much as you can. Squeeze the glutes. Maybe check in. Are you engaging? Hello? Anybody home? And come on down. Oh my goodness. Sometimes nobody's home in our muscular system. It's like, hello? Wake up. Okay. Lift up again. Squeeze. Squeeze those glutes. Lift up a little higher. And then come on down. Nice. And this last one, we're going to get into a little bit of hamstring. So lift up. Come on to your right toes. Really press down into the left foot, but especially into that left heel, and then pull it a little bit towards you. 3, 4, 5, 6. Lower that right heel down. Come up onto the left toes. Press down into the right heel and pull that right heel towards you without moving the foot. So you're creating an isometric contraction in the hamstrings. Lift up a little bit more and then come on down and straighten the legs. Let the arms come out to the sides. From here, allow yourself a moment, please. Please. Learn to relax yourself. Learn to practice relaxation. We just did all of this incredible work to create more stability in our hip structure. We just did all of this work to activate our muscles, to create more neuro connection. Now integrate the breath back into your body again. Come back again and again to your breath. Feel the belly rising away from the spine as you inhale. And the belly moves towards the spine as you exhale. Affirm that there's no more perfect moment than this one. And take all of this good energy, these good feelings, the stability, that internal, indomitable will that you've created. Bring it back out into the world so that you can go out to manifest and live your life purpose and be the best version of you. Namaste, friends.